Athina and I'm grateful that you're here with me today. Today, in this Pick a Book reading, we are going to look at what insight do you need to hear right now. It could be spiritual insight, any type of insight that will be coming through. And I'm talking about spiritual insight because I'm going to be using Rebecca Campbell's books, as you can see here right in front of me, and as well as all her 4 oracle cards for the reading. It's going to be like this. You pick the book and the book will be read at your pies at the end as the cherry on top. And I will be starting with her oracle cards in each group first. And I'm going to start with the first oracle card that Rebecca Campbell published, and the newly released oracle deck of hers is going to be the last oracle deck I will be using. After that, I will be doing some libromancy, book divination, and read a passage from the book that you've chosen for the last message of this reading. So yeah, you can choose your group, or you can watch the whole video and watch both groups if you cannot decide which book to take. You can choose based on the color of the dice, the number 1 or 2. You can choose based on the book. The first book for group 1 is Letters to a Starseed, Messages and Activations for Remembering Who You are. Who you are and why you came here. And group 2, you have the Light is the New Black, a guide to entering your soul's calling and working your light. I will be going quiet for a minute after I explain more, and you can then meditate upon the books to choose the one that you are the most drawn towards. You can choose your group also based on the timestamp that is in the description down below. Maybe there is a lucky number of you there, a number that you are seeing often, or your birth date. Maybe you already knew which group or groups to take based on the thumbnail, because there you see the books already. And after the 1-minute meditation, where I'm leaving you with some quiet guitar music that I was playing on my guitar, I will be playing a different tune for each group, so that the ones of you that are Clairaudiant can choose based on the tone. Maybe it's loud and clear for you which one to take, one that resonates with you, somehow it distinct out to you, it strikes out to you the most than the other tune. Now I'll be doing the tune like this. First the tune for group 1, then 2, then again 1, then 2, so you hear it twice. So then I'll be going quiet now, and I will be seeing you at your groups. Bye! Hi, pile number 1. You chose the yellow dice, the number 1, the book Letters to a Starseed, or the tune that you heard, and this is going to be your reading about what insight do you need to hear right now. I'm going to put your book at the side so that I can start shuffling with the oracle cards. By the way, what I forgot to mention in the intro, like I always forget something to say, is this video is not sponsored by Rebecca Campbell. I'm just doing it because I like her work. I find her words have a beautiful meaning and depth to it, so I thought it would be something that could be helpful for everyone that is going to be tuning into this video. So I don't get a cent. Everything that I do on YouTube is for free, not sponsored. Nothing is sponsored, not even the links on the text that I always put in the description. They are not affiliate links. I don't get nothing from it. So let's get started. Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit Guides, what insight? What insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? What does... Okay, nope. This is everything. At the back of the deck we have Soul Family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So it's time for you to call in your tribe, your soul family, your soulmates, romantic or platonic. Doesn't have to be. Soulmates can also be family members. And ask them for help. If they are on the physical world or in the spirit world, your soul family is there to help you. So if you ever need help or assistance while you're going through something, you can ask them. You are not alone. You don't have to do everything on your own. As well as healing. When you are healing yourself, you can ask your guides to help heal yourself, to take the burden from you and transmute it. I'm remembering that once I was dreaming, but it was a kind of dream that I was somehow aware that I was dreaming and somehow awake. It was strange. And I think it was my higher self that was talking through me. Well, it was not talking. It was more of a using telepathy. And my higher self, in my dream, in my strange dream, called in Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael to help me through something. And I called for them, and in my dream I started to fluctuate from my bed. I was lying on my bed, I started to fluctuate, and then it was complete darkness. After that I don't know what happened. It was apparently not something for my conscious self to know. So if you call for them, your soul family, they are going to come and help you. So you have also the Sisterhood of the Rose, your beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. So you may be or consider yourself a mystic. You may have been a priestess or a priest or the priestess in one of your past lives. But I do have to say that this card is a card that I rarely got in any readings for myself or for others here on. So I have to, this one I have to look up for and read out of the guidebook. And this is going to be happening a little bit often, this reading, because there are some cards in every deck that I never got for myself, not for others. So, and moreover, the newest release of Rebecca Campbell's deck is new to me as well, so I don't know any of the meanings. So it's going to be a reading. Sisterhood of the Rose. The Sisterhood of the Rose is a lineage of priestesses and mystics who devoted their lives to serving humanity and seeding light consciousness all over the earth. A cross-section of ancient lineages. It is the path of devotion and beauty. Walking this path means being devoted to seeing and creating beauty wherever you go. The rose symbolizes the heart and the sacred geometry of all life. You're being called to notice the beauty around you, particularly in nature, and hear the whispers of Mother Earth. You're being called to spend more time in nature, as all the ancient secrets live there. Mother Earth is constantly whispering. Spend time admiring her creations, and you will be rewarded with insight and grace. You are being called to take a little more time to both notice the beauty that exists all around you and contribute to the beauty of the world in your own way too. This could be through your own creations or in the little things like how you dress to picking flowers for your home. Every time you devote your time to creating beauty, you harmonize the planet a little more, and the shift in vibration can be felt. Then we have work your light action. So an action that you can take upon if you want to. Surround yourself with beauty and create beauty wherever you go. So since we have the rose here, I think there may be some important messages for you when the Rose Oracle, when I shuffle the Rose Oracle, because Sisterhood of the Rose and Rebecca Campbell has a Rose Oracle, so it may be that the Rose Oracle has more insight and more messages that are powerful as well as all the other decks. But it may mean to you more than the other decks. Just me guessing here. So your next card is the Crumbling. What are you clinging onto? So there may be something that you're still clinging onto, something that it's time to release. The Crumbling is a card that resembles a little bit the Tower card of the tarot cards. So something was built on foundations that were not steady at all. It may not have been, as an example, it may have not been a healthy foundation. If this is it's talking about a relationship, it may have been built upon codependency or something else. I'm just using examples. It could also be your work ethics or your work that you are doing, your job. It may not be stable. Well, I would say that no work, no job is really stable in this world. You can always get fired. And we saw that during the pandemic. A lot of people lost their jobs because of the pandemic. Like my parents both lost their jobs, but my mother was able to go back to the same what is it called in English? Firm. To the same place, well, to the same corporation, but at another place. My father still hasn't searched for a new job. Well, either way. So it may have been that you are doing this job only for a short time, and it's not meant for you to be there forever, because you are meant to do something else, to experience something else. So there is something that you are clinging onto, even though it is slowly but surely breaking down and dissolving. You can see this here, the black tower is surrounded by lightning from the divine. The divine is trying to intervene and break this tower down so that you can walk the path here in the middle with the beauty, with the beautiful scenery where you are meant to be. You're not meant to be here in front of the tower where everything's breaking down. You are meant to be there at this beautiful, serene place in nature. Well, since the Work Your Light Oracle didn't have much to say, up to the next deck. So we are now at the Starseed Oracle. So please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit Guides. Please, Spirit Guides, what insight does pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit Guides, what insight? Yeah, there we have it. Back of the deck we have Earth, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. So the Starseed Oracle is the oracle for, you don't have to consider yourself a starseed, but mostly starseed are being drawn towards, and you even chose letters to a starseed. So you may consider yourself a fellow starseed like I am. So hi, welcome brother, sister, and person if you are non-binary. Yeah, and we starseed oftentimes have a hard time being human on Earth because we are accustomed to be different, because we have lived in different planets and in different races and civilizations where things have been completely different than here on Earth, where maybe there was peace, where we all were connected to each other, we were connected to nature because we are part of nature, and every person in the other civilization was a reflection of ourselves, because we are them and they are us. We reflect each other. There are things that you may admire in a person, but you admire it because deep down you have the qualities as well. And sometimes you get annoyed by someone because of a certain trait. Maybe it is because deep down you are rejecting that trait that you have within yourself and you just don't want to see. Most of the times it's something that is in our unconscious mind, and we are not aware of those traits that we have maybe in ourselves as well. Not wanting to call anyone out, but we have the void, stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. So maybe you are going through a winter phase in your life, because we humans, we are also cyclical like nature, because we are nature. And so we also have our winter phases where we have not as much energy as we wish to have. We may do things on a minimal energy level base because we want to rest, like plants that rest during winter time because of the harsh cold. They are not dead, they are just resting and sleeping and regaining their strength for when spring comes, so that they can bloom again and you know, they bloom from spring to summer, and in autumn they slowly lose their leaves and their petals. So they are for a long time active, so they need to have rest to also be able to do the cycle again and again. So the same goes for us. Sometimes we go through our winter phases for different length of period. For some people it takes years for them to be in a winter phase. For some it is a month, or some months. It could be even that it's in the month of winter. If you are in the northern hemisphere, summer is slowly ending and we are entering autumn, so winter is coming. Maybe you are connected to nature in the way that you have also your winter phase while it is winter. It doesn't have to be. Maybe you are coming out of your winter phase in the southern hemisphere, because the southern hemisphere is currently on winter, slowly going to spring. And the void is a place where it's dark, there's nothing, but it doesn't mean that nothing is happening in the void. Like when you put a seed in earth, the seed is in the darkness, it's in the void. It doesn't see anything, it doesn't have an idea or anything. It stays there till the calling within cause the seed to sprout their roots, and the calling for them to slowly grow, and someday they will be coming out of the earth and be in the light above the earth, and they will grow and grow more, because they are hearing this inner calling within them that they need to grow now. So the same goes for us. Sometimes we are in this dark place because something will be planted within us that will grow when the time is right. That's why it's also called the great cosmic womb. You are in a womb. Something may be in your womb even. It may be creative or physical, like birthing a child. So something is being created. You are not seeing it right now because it's winter time, and in winter, you know, plants don't bloom. So the same goes for us. Our ideas don't bloom in winter, but when the time's right, the idea or whatever it is will hear its calling and know it's time now. The same will be going for you. You will know when's the time's right. Then we have the courageous peony, multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. So we are multifaceted beings. We are multi-dimensional beings, meaning that we can have interest in one part and interest in another. Like you, as an example, what this means, multifaceted and multi-dimensional. You can like something and something else that are like total opposites. Like you could like heavy metal, like the heaviest music on earth, but still appreciate classic music with an orchestra and all the things. You would not normally put someone that likes classical music, you normally would not see them as someone that would appreciate heavy metal, and with vice versa. But we, as multifaceted and having a unique nature to ourselves, we can have and we can like two opposite things. Even people or society may think like, how can you like both? This doesn't make any sense. They are so completely different from each other. And why can we not like something that is completely different from the things? So let yourself be seen for who you are, for all the things that you like, even if they may not work like hand in hand. Let's see if I'm able to find a, like, for example, I'm totally into spirituality, meditation, spirit guides and everything, but as a child, and still now, just that I don't really watch any more, but I love to watch documentaries, the scientific ones about space. And you know, this is all about physics, and I have no idea of physics. It's something I never understood. There were some themes in physics that I could understand and knew what to do, but others I was like, makes no sense to me, but well, whatever. But I loved to watch things about space, black holes, planets, stars, supernovas. And this is heavily science-based. It doesn't allow room for spirituality and things like this. But I still like it. I still do like it, even though I'm not watching anymore. Why, I don't know, but maybe I should start again. So, two completely different things. But it's because I am multifaceted. I'm a multidimensional being. I can like different things, even if someone else might deem them not to fit together. But what? There is a saying, opposites attract, so maybe it's because of that. So let yourself be seen. You're beautiful, multifaceted. And we have here, I think this is the picture of peony. You see how many petals this flower has. You have the same. You have a lot of petals within you. And those petals all signify something different that you may like, or that you may stand up for, or is your belief. And they may be contradictory, and that's okay. And people, if you let yourself be seen as who you are, you will find those that think the same as you. So if you let yourself be seen, your soul family will find you as well. Then we have lifting the weight, questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. Well, this fits perfectly with the crumbling. So question everything. Does it light you up? Do you find joy in doing things? What doesn't feel right for you? What does feel like you are trying to fit yourself into a box that doesn't fit? Like, for example, let's take, I have here a dice. For the dice to fit into something, we need something that has the form of a dice. But if you try to fit the dice into something that has not the same form, it will not fit. It just doesn't. And that's the same with anything unaligned must go. Trying to force something that doesn't fit is unalignment. You are not in alignment. It's like trying to fit a shoe that is too small. It must go. You must throw that shoe out and buy a new one that fits your feet, because it's going to hurt you otherwise if you are walking on shoes that are too small for you. And the same thing goes with things that are not in alignment with you. It is hurting you in some shape or form. For example, something that I was not in alignment with was being a primary school teacher. I went to college for 1 year. I tried to fit in, to learn how to be a teacher, and I was teaching even because we had practical practice where we would stand in front of a class and teach them mathematics, German, English, geography, religion. And religion, it was about religion and not in religion. It's completely different. So we were talking about what makes this religion like this, and not teach, yeah, you have to pray for that God and nothing else. That's two different types of religion teachings. So, and I just didn't fit in, and I was hurting myself because I was stressed, because it was a lot of work. I was not happy, I was unhappy. I would every day wake up because I had to, not because I wanted to, because I was not happy. And after I've seen that this is not my path, and when I left college, a few months later, I've met one of my friends and some others that were with us in college as well. And my friend, we were talking about, and I was saying, yeah, I quit college, and they were, okay. A lot of people quit. My friend looked at me and said that I looked like a heavy burden was lifted from me, and I looked more happy that I was not there anymore. And so I had to lift the veil and question if this was really the path I wanted to go. And after I've realized it wasn't, I let go of that. And I'm here now. Somehow I've ended up making YouTube videos. So yeah, that is just an example of helping you question if you find something in your life that is not in alignment with who you truly are. Then we have Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. So I'm going to read this one out of the guidebook. It's one of the cards that I don't get a lot. But before that, yeah, just making sure, because I have a new setup and I'm never sure if you can see the cards or not. So, the guidebook for Star Brothers. Here. Star Brothers. You may work with Horus, since we have Horus energy here, with the hawk. Was it a hawk? I think it was a hawk. You're more protected than you can imagine. It's safe to open the back of your heart. You're being called to be open to receiving a new level of support now, from those in your life and from the benevolent beings you're connected with. Through ancestral patterning, current life traumas, and past life karmic impressions, many of us have become mistrustful and suspicious of loyalty and have blocks when it comes to receiving support. We've learned that we need to go at life alone, that it's not safe to let our guard down and our heart open, that the world isn't a friendly place. The Star Brothers want you to have a new experience of life on Earth. They want you to feel deeply secure and safe. Even if you're going through a difficult time, they want you to hand over your fears to them, to see them as opportunities to let in more love. They're guiding you to stay open to receiving a greater level of support than you can ever imagine, both in this world and beyond, to call in your team of loyal protectors and supporters, both physically and energetically. They want you to learn to soften through life's ups and downs, and to learn to open your heart, especially when it most wants to harden. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm I don't know why, but I'm starting to choke up. It may be from your energy, maybe you are currently deeply touched by the words of it, I don't know. But yeah, you're not alone. There are so many beautiful souls out there that are waiting to find you and support you, as well as the ones that are in the spiritual world. They love you deeply. They want to help you if you let them help you, of course. If you give them permission. You don't have to walk alone this path. And then there is something that you can meditate upon, make a journal entry, or reflect upon, is how can you open yourself up to receiving more support. So then we have Starkeeper, cosmic ancestors, seek the light by staying grounded. So of course, cosmic ancestors, so you'll probably have ancestors in places other than Earth. It would make sense that you chose letters to a starseed then. And most of us starseeds, you can see already from the name seed, we came from the stars and we are here on Earth to seed light, to seed a new way of being, so that Earth doesn't get distracted by humanity, because humanity lost a little bit of touch with themselves and nature. And Earth, Mother Gaia, she gave a signal out into the cosmos, asking for help from other beings, other planets, not for herself because she was getting destroyed, but because of the deep love she has for humanity, because she doesn't want to see humanity destroy itself. So starseeds heard that, and those that volunteered came on Earth at this time to bring new light into Earth, to show humans a new way of being and how it can work differently than they are walking now. But you only can see the light if you stay grounded. And with being grounded, it means being present in the present moment, not always looking back at the past and thinking about I should have chosen differently and so on and so on. You are somehow harming yourself by saying this, saying that you made a mistake and blaming yourself for this mistake. But we are humans. Currently we are humans, and humans make mistakes, and making mistakes is one of the ways that we learn and we grow from those things. So let go of the past, forgive yourself for what you have done, and don't worry about the future, because you are now in the present moment. Now you have the power in your hands to make the future that you want to be in. So if you decide now to work on yourself, to do what lights you up, to do what you love, to let go of the things that are not in alignment with you anymore, you are making choices that your future self will thank you for, because you are making a life that you want to live in the future. And if you are worrying about something, you can ask your spirit guides, your soul family, you can give them your worries and ask them to show you the next step that you need to take so that you can walk the path that you want to walk on. So, now to the Rose Oracle. So please, spirit guides, what inside this pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, spirit guides, what inside this pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, spirit guides, what inside this pile number 1 need to hear right now? We have lineage of the rose, moved by the goddess, here for this soul call, gather. Please, spirit guides, what inside this pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, spirit guides, what inside this pile number 1 need to hear right now? Brothers of the Rose, sacred masculine, honor, protection, support. We have again protection, support, and brothers. We have star brothers and brothers of the Rose. Then we have the sisterhood of the Rose and the lineage of the Rose, so it is somehow beautiful connected to each other. Please, spirit guides, what inside this pile number 1 need to hear right now? Please, spirit guides, what inside this pile number 1 need to hear right now? What inside this pile number 1 need to hear right now? Okay, this was everything. So at the back of the deck, we have we are nature, becoming grounded, embodiment, living in connection. So, as I've said, there are some cards that I don't know the meanings of. So, the guidebook for the Rose Oracle, we are nature. We've built a world on top of the world. If you look up the word nature in a dictionary, you see a reference to plants, animals, and landscapes as opposed to humans. We speak of getting into nature or getting grounded as something we need to do. We've forgotten that we don't exist in nature, we are nature. Indigenous earth-based traditions have always seen the planet and all beings as interconnected and sacred, humans as one with the earth itself. The earth and Mother Rose, that's what Rebecca Campbell calls the energy entity that helped her make the Rose Oracle, Mother Rose, are calling us back to earth, to weave the sacred back in, to weave nature back into the center of our everyday lives, to see ourselves as nature and to spend more time interacting with the living natural world. Returning to nature. How's your connection with nature? How's your relationship with your own body? How can you live in a more grounded way? This card is an invitation to develop a deeper connection with Earth, to actively spend time with the physical, natural world around you, to tend it, and to take your place as a custodian of it, to see the sacred in all of life, to notice the changing seasons around you and within you, and to remember that you too are part of the Earth's ever-changing landscape. To remember that you are nature and that you'll always find your true nature in nature. To embrace your body as your home and the planet as your mother. Something to meditate upon. Make a journal entry or reflect is how can you connect more deeply with nature and your own true nature, and how can you return more to earth. Then we have lineage of the rose. These times, these changing, divisive times, your soul chose to be here right now for this. You're part of a collective team led by the goddess, by the mother of us all, to revive the thread of the rose back into the tapestry of humanity. By the way, if you don't like the word goddess or mother of us all, you can always replace it with something that resonates with you. To make spaces where all people feel cherished and safe, to heal and be healed from the destructive patterns of patriarchy, to be part of the return of the goddess to the earth. If you've been doubting your path, you're being called to look within and trust the whispers and weavings from caverns deep. The way of the mystic rose is walked by few and known by heart, not mind. Try not to overthink, rather trust the threads that are woven deep. This card contains within it a confirmation of the inner call and a reassurance that you are not alone in it. The mother of us all thanks you for being part of these changing times of humanity. She acknowledges your devotion to doing your best to support yourself and others in the journey back home, to themselves, to each other, and to the earth. She wants you to know that she is available to guide you every step of the way. Speak, sing, and dance with her. You are led, you are led, you are led. Something to meditate upon, reflect, or make a journal entry is how are you being called to commit more deeply to humanity and the earth? Then Brothers of the Rose. This card of the sacred masculine. Like the feminine, the sacred masculine exists within each one of us, and together we are being called to balance both energies within us. The sun and the moon, solar and lunar. Perhaps this is what it means to birth a new world. The sacred, mature, masculine is something so needed in our world. It's a part of us that lives in deep honor and reverence of the feminine. It recognizes the goddess within all of life, including the earth, and is committed to protecting and living in devotion to the feminine. The sacred masculine knows that striving and overpowering, enduring and conquering are not helpful. The sacred masculine is strong and tender, protective but not defensive. This card could be a sign that you're being called to work on the sacred masculine energy within you that's maturing and rising. It could be that you're being called to work on ancestral healing of the paternal line. It could be an indication that you're being called to invoke or acknowledge the sacred masculine in those around you. Or it could represent the sacred masculine appearing in your life. The sacred masculine exists within all of us. They are encircling you so that you can do your sacred work, so that you can be part of the return of the goddess on this earth. The rose is their emblem, and they wear it proudly on their hearts. Something you can reflect upon, and so on to not. The candle just... Is it still on? It is. I thought that it went off, but it's still going strong even if it is small. It says here, how are you being called to work within the sacred masculine? Is it because of the wind of the fan? No, it's because it's time for it to go out. So, So to the last oracle deck of this day, then we were going to your book to get one last message. So please bring guys, what inside the spy number 1 need to hear right now? Is this happening? Okay, was fast. We have Isle of Avalon, healing, returning to wholeness, transformation as the back of the deck. Then we have King Tide, plenty, prosperity, receiving the fullness of life. Beneath the surface, what's really driving you? True motives, breaking free. And now the candle went out. Then we have Water Carrier, what really matters, reflect, reprioritize. So I'm going to read all the cards from the guidebook because I'm seeing them for the first time. But first, I need a new candle. And yes, I was prepared. I knew that it would go out in one of the readings today. So, new candle for us. So, you can see... no, almost. Almost all cards. Going to take this away after I've read the guidebook. But first, let me drink some water now that we are at the Healing Waters Oracle. Because my throat deeply needs it. So, Isle of Avalon. Legend says that Avalon was the island where Britain's mythical King Arthur was taken after being fatally wounded in his final battle. First mentioned in Geoffrey of Monmouth's fictional The History of the Kings of Britain, 1136. Avalon is said to have been ruled by the powerful enchantress Morgan Le Fay and her 8 sisters, thought by many to be high priestesses, who were widely renowned for their tremendous healing abilities. Some believe that the Isle of Avalon, which is also known as the Isle of Apples and the Isle of the Dead, is a mythical place of healing that exists beyond the veil. Others say that it exists in the physical. Avalon and its healing spring waters have been identified as Glastonbury in Somerset, southwest England, and even today pilgrims travel to the town. It's believed that this sacred place of healing was once surrounded by water and could only be reached by boat. This is a card of great healing and an invitation to see that your healing is an opportunity for great transformation, that perhaps the parts of you that feel as if they're dying are actually being born anew. Maybe this healing journey is taking you somewhere truly glorious, somewhere sacred deep within. We have here Healing Waters activation. You could also say it is an affirmation of sorts. I surrender to my healing. I activate the sacred intelligence within the waters of my body. I call in all the support that's most helpful. I believe in my ability to transform and heal. Then King Tide. Oops. And especially high tide that occurs several times a year when the moon is either new or full and is closest to the earth in its monthly orbit. The king tide swells the waters of the world. The king tide is a time of plenty and abundance. It's a time when everything seems to be at its fullest and most alive. This card delivers a message of receiving all that you've created, of opening yourself up to truly enjoy the bounty of where you are while it's here. Like in summer, when the days are at their longest and our energy seems to be at its fullest. We are encouraged to embrace all of life with open arms, to receive wholly and fully while we can. Perhaps you've been working towards this moment for a very long time. This is your reminder to enjoy it while it's here, to welcome all that knocks on your door, to experience all that life has to offer you right now. This is the call of full blooming flowers and the season of summer. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, lie on the soft grass and take in the view. Do what you love and what makes you come most alive. Relish everything about this moment. What you're longing for is ready for you to embrace it. Be ready to receive. Soul inquiry. Again, meditate upon if you want to. What have you been working toward? How can you open yourself up to receiving it more fully now while it's here? Then beneath the surface. Often the things that we think we want are not what we really want deep down. Sometimes we go after them because the world has told us we should do certain things or be a certain way, and we don't realize there's a choice. Sometimes we're driven by the need to keep up, be approved of, or fit in. Sometimes we do things just because we've always done them and we can't even see out of the box that's containing us. Sometimes what we're chasing is really chasing us. What is it that you truly want? And why do you want what you truly want? Be honest about it. What are you chasing that's holding you captive? Are you being called to break free of the box that's containing you? What's beneath the surface of what you currently see? What are your true motives deep down? Are you expanding energy on things that aren't true inner yearnings? What's really driving your behavior and your desires? It's time to move from confusion to clarity, to question the narrative, realign yourself and reclaim your life, to open your mind to what it is that you really truly want and then reorient yourself toward it. It's safe to change your mind, to step out of the box, to choose a different way of being. Look beneath the surface of your day-to-day life and reflect on what's really driving you and what you really truly want. Freedom always follows, and so does ease and fulfillment. Something to reflect upon more is, what are you doing that you don't really want to do? What are you doing just because you always have? Then we have the water carrier. In most parts of the modern world, humans have become disconnected from each other and the planet. We've forgotten simple things like where the water that sustains us even comes from. We speak about creating harmony and peace on Earth, but really our focus should be on creating harmony and peace with the Earth. It is possible that it's our disconnection from seeing Earth's resources as sacred that's made us so disconnected. When we look into the future, we can see that without water there can be no life on Earth. Without water, humanity cannot survive. This is a call about getting your priorities right and focusing on what really truly matters. In our busy world, it's so easy to get swept up in things that seem important and urgent when really at the end of the day we realize that worrying about them has been a waste of time, resources and energy. It's time to take a moment to pause, reflect and reprioritize, to focus on what really matters, to chop wood and carry water, to care for those in our community, to understand what's really truly important and act accordingly. To meditate upon the questions, what are you worrying about or doing that's a waste of time, energy and resources? What are you being called to focus on instead? So let me get more water to my throat so that I can read the last message for this reading from the book you've chosen, Letters to a Starseed. So please, Letters to a Starseed book, please read, guides. What insight does pie number 1 need to hear right now? What last message do you have for pie number 1 right now? It's a little bit of a bigger passage, but you've got, why did you choose to come? While I know that being a soul having a human experience can be difficult at times, living on a planet of great polarity and surrounded by so much devastation as we are right now, I also believe that life is a great adventure for the soul. The souls line up to incarnate into a physical body in order to experience themselves in the physical and truly incarnate here. That prior to incarnating, your soul had a dream, and your life, this life, is a direct manifestation of that dream. I personally believe that I came to Earth for both a personal and a collective soul mission, as I mentioned in the chapter Soul Mission on page 54. Until I was able to find the words and concept to wrap around that knowing, it always felt like there was something I was forgetting that I desperately needed to find. Part of my own path has been having glimpses of the journey of the soul, forever fascinated by what happens when we die. In my first book, I spoke about my first life-changing experiences, which happened during a past life regression when I was in my early 20s. In the regression, I was taken to the moment before my own birth, when my soul was deciding the details of my own incarnation. I remember looking into a body of water-like substance before me, alongside beings that were there to support me in making a decision about where and when to incarnate based on my soul's personal and collective mission. After making my selection, I was taken to a massive, open, very bright space where many other souls were gathering too, in order to meet with a group of beings called the Council of Light. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. And it's not because of the fan that is while I couldn't see all the people, I could see and feel their energy, their souls as balls of buzzing, glowing light. It was hard to differentiate between the end of one soul and the beginning of another. It was like the best reunion you could possibly imagine. Some of these different souls' energies were familiar to me, as if I'd incarnated with them before. Now it's getting too cold. Sorry, I had to down the fan a little bit. Well, was I here? Okay. As a group, we were then given a brief for this lifetime on Earth by the Council of Light. We were informed that in this incarnation we'd be part of a mass waking up in the Western world and a much needed return to Goddess Mother God consciousness and the rebalancing of the planet. We were told that our missions would be deeply infused in us and that while walking our unique paths, we'd be sent people and situations that would wake us up from our slumber early in life. As one of us wake up, and followed the call of their soul. It will spark a deep-seated memory in another, regardless of how physical close we were to one another. And I'm getting more goosebumps. Once we were awake, it would change something in us. We were to follow what lit us up, and in doing so, light up the world around us. One by one, as each person did this, it will cause a chain reaction of others doing the same and a potential mass awakening. We all then received information on our choice of life and our own personal mission. I couldn't tell you if there were 100 or 100,000 souls there with me, because as I mentioned earlier, it was hard to differentiate one soul from another, as if we were connected in our collective mission at this time. I saw how many of the souls were grouped together in waves, incarnating in unison over different periods of time. Since writing about this soul experience and memory, I've received hundreds and hundreds of letters and emails from people saying that they were there too. Some remember this experience through reading my recollection, while others had already remembered it through their own exploration. Maybe you were there too, or perhaps you're here with a different collective mission. Regardless, I do believe that there's a reason you chose to come, to be here now. Soul inquiry. Why did your soul choose to come at this time? So, pile number 1. This is everything that I have for you. Thank you for sticking with me till the end. I hope that these messages helped you. I wish you all the best, and I will be seeing you in my next video. Bye! Hi, pile number 2. You chose the light is the new black, or the green dice, or the tune that you heard, and this is going to be your reading about what insight do you need to hear right now. So I'm going to put your book to the side and guide it back at the end of the oracle portion. Ouch. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make room for my feet underneath my table. So let's get started. So something that I forgot to mention in the intro, like I always somehow forget something to mention in the intro, is that this video is not sponsored by Rebecca Campbell, nor do I get any money off the links that I have for the text in the description down below. I'm doing this all for free. I don't see a cent from this. All videos of mine are for free. I never get anything at all. So it's not sponsored. I think that Rebecca Campbell has a way with the words, and her oracle decks as well as her books have a certain depth to it that can be really helping. I'm sorry. And I find it helpful for myself, so I thought that why not do this as well for the viewers. It may help them too. So yeah, and when you hear something, it's the fan. That's why the flame is like flickering. It's too hot in my room to not be with the fan. I would be dying without it. So yeah, and I'm also drinking more water than normal because it's so hot, so you will hear me drink more water as well. So I hope you can be with me. So let's get started. Pile number 1 had beautiful messages, so looking forward to you, pile number 2. So please read us. What insights does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please read, guys. Leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. So please read, guys. What insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please read, guys. What insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? This is everything? Okay. So at the back of the deck we have Get Grounded, Empaths, Highly Sensitives, Connect with Nature. So, hi my fellow empaths and highly sensitives. Welcome. It's time for you to get grounded. You may be a little bit spacey, or you have taken too much energy from others and are trying to and you're thinking like those energies and feelings are yours, but they are not. So connect with nature to get yourself grounded, to let nature take away the energies that are not yours, to carry, emotions that are not yours to be felt. Okay. That was sweet and short for this card. So we have Leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. So you have been maybe waiting for a sign of when do you need to start, when do you need to take action. This is the sign. You are ready. You need to go first. The universe will catch you. And I'm being told to read the guidebook. Well, good. Then I will shut up and search for the card here and read it for you. You will see me read the guidebooks of the decks a lot. Some of the cards I've never seen in my life before, for myself or for other readings. So when this happens, I take the guidebook, and sometimes there are some cards that I did see already, but they sometimes I feel like I cannot convey the energy of them with my words correctly, so I tend to pick the guidebook to read it out. So, Leap. Life bends for the courageous. The universe wants to support you, but first you need to leap, to throw your life up in the air. Perhaps you know that you are being called to leap toward or away from, but are scared to make the move. Or maybe perhaps you are waiting for a big fat sign or instruction manual or permission to do so first. If this is you, then this card is your sign and permission slip to take a deep breath and leap into the unknown. It's scary to let go of all that we know in hope for something new, and it's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure. But this is the unavoidable process of rising. And right now, this is how you are being called to live. Nature is constantly showing us how to live with courage. Fall comes every year and encourages the trees to loosen their grip, to allow what once was so full of life to fall away leaf by leaf. For a moment it feels like nothing will grow again. The branches are left bare, without the comfort of what once was. But in the morn of spring, new shoots begin to appear, and something new is born that is even more glorious than before. Work your light action. You go first. Take a good run up and leap. Then we have Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? Why do I feel like... So, someone may be mirroring you, or some situation is acting like a mirror. And this is a reflection of something that is in your subconscious. It's triggering you for something for you to be aware of, so that you can face what this is. It may be a past hurt or some wounds. It could be some ancestral patterns that you need to break free from. And it is shown to you by a reflection like a mirror, so that you can be aware of it and heal through it, or break the chain from it if this is not a wound that needs to be healed. So who or what is triggering you? What is it trying to show you? Why do you feel this trigger? Is there a reason deep down in your unconscious mind that needs to be brought to light and to your awareness? And then you have Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Yes, and I'm being called to read Lemuria. Lemuria, or Mu, is one of the Earth's lost lands, where heaven really was a place on Earth, a time before we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. In Lemuria, life worked in harmony. All beings were seen as equal, and we were deeply reverent to Mother Earth. We knew that a mosquito was no worse than us, and the sun no better. Perhaps you too believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Perhaps you are part of the transition team who, at a soul level, are devoted to creating this kind of harmony on the planet now. Thank you for wanting to do this work. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the state of affairs on the planet right now, but you are being encouraged to keep holding the clear vision of the future. It is closer than you think. You may be guided to hold the frequency of Lemuria in your own community, family, workplace, or within yourself. Know that it is possible, and while at times it may feel like you are alone, you truly are not. There are hundreds of thousands who hold the codes of this ancient lost land, and even Lemuria crystals that hold the codes of remembering that are beginning to rise all over the planet. Keep doing what you are doing, and remember, the only way to heal the world around us is to first heal ourselves. Then we have here Work Your Light transmission. You could say that this is an affirmation. I hold the codes of Lemuria and believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. So if you want to use this, you can. Yeah. Then let's go to the next deck, the Starseed Oracle. Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? There is more to come out. Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear? Yeah, no. It was not that many, it was just one card. Please, Spirit guides, what insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? What insight does pile number 2 need to hear right now? Please, Spirit guides, this here. So, at the back of the deck you have, you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. Yeah, you are not for everyone, and not everyone is for you. Meaning that it's okay if people don't like you. And it's okay to not give everyone that you know your time and energy. Because if you would do that, you would get depleted. So, and embrace your weirdness. Embrace all aspects of yourself. And face your true north, the path that you want to walk on. Being your authentic self. because by being your authentic self, you show those that are like-minded as yourself that you are there, and so that they can find you. So the ones that will get you will find you if you embrace your authentic self, your awareness, and show the world who you truly are. Then we have You Got the Love, Hadarian Energy, Codependency, Boundaries. This is a card saying that the Hadarian are beings and people that have a lot of love to give. Sometimes so much they don't know when people may be taking advantage of their love and overstepping boundaries. The Hadarian people have so much love, so much kindness and compassion for others that they often don't have boundaries, that they get into codependent relationships. So this card is telling you that you have a beautiful heart, a lot of love to give in your heart, but there is a need for you to set boundaries with others, because if you keep doing that, you are going to keep getting depleted, that you may be in a codependent relationship that doesn't do you any good. So something important for you, pile number 2, is to set boundaries with your loved ones. It is not because you don't like them, it's for you. Those boundaries are for you so that you can protect yourself, your energy, because you are worth everything. Because from an empty cup you cannot give to anyone else. Then we have Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Look a Little Deeper. This is a card talking about there are hidden secrets and wisdom in us that may be not known to a lot of others. Because stars, ancestors, we may have had past lives in places other than Earth, gained wisdom from there that is currently not known to Earth. It may be the lost wisdom of Lemuria, of times past that was lost, because Lemuria is one of the lost lands with Atlantis and Avalon. So wisdom that were commonly known in times of Lemuria, Atlantis, and so on, got lost in history of humanity. So the codes of those times, the wisdom, is held still by those that live in those times. The soul remembers every wisdom. They are deep within our soul ingrained. And it's time for us, in this case you, to look a little deeper, to meditate maybe, to help you get access to those hidden secrets, to the wisdom that was lost, to activate the codes again of remembering and bringing this to Earth and humanity. It doesn't have to be in a large group. It can be only in your family line, in your friend group, or where you work. And then we have Starkeeper, the same card pile number 1 got as well. Cosmic Ancestors, seek the light by staying grounded. We have again grounded, so it is important for you, pile number 2, to ground yourself more regularly. And I'm feeling like this one I need to read out for you. Okay. Star Keeper. You're an ancient keeper of the stars, here to anchor and seed your light in your unique way. You've likely been incarnating on Earth for some time, dedicated to an era of awakening and bringing about a long-awaited shift in the planet's evolution. We are at a tipping point now. The survival of Earth and all its species is coming to a head. The more grounded you remain during this transitional period, the more helpful you'll be. The more you tend to the flames of your own heart, the more love you anchor onto this planet. The wisdom of the stars is imprinted in your soul. The more soul fragments you call home, the more this wisdom is seated here. You may be called to be in different places in the world to anchor this light, perhaps by taking a trip or living in a certain location. You may also find yourself experiencing awakening symptoms. The more grounded you remain, the more stable Earth's energy will become and the less reactive humanity will be. You're here for a double mission, to grow as an individual and as a part of a larger collective that's bringing about a shift in frequency. Trust that you can be in the world but not of it, and lead a truly glorious life. Then we have here an starseed activation. You could say that this is also an affirmation. I acknowledge that I am a star keeper. I choose to anchor my light and stay as grounded as possible. So, to the next oracle deck. The Rose Oracle. Let's see what the Rose Oracle has to offer us. So, please spirit guides, what insight does pie number 2 need to hear right now? Please spirit guides, what insight does pie number 2 need to hear right now? Please spirit guides, what insight does pie number 2 need to hear right now? Please spirit guides, what insight does pie number 2 need to hear right now? Please spirit guides, what insight does pie number 2 need to hear right now? Please spirit guides. So, at the back of the deck, we have the reunion, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, friendship. So you may be reuniting with parts of your soul family, finding your tribe. You may collaborate with someone on a project, if it is a job or just a creative project. This has been divinely guided. This project was meant to be done with you and this other person. You may find a new partner to work with on certain things. It could be a romantic partnership, and you are going to find new friendships through these people, because they are part of your soul family. So there's going to be a deep friendship, a deep remembering that you know each other from somewhere, and at some time, sometime you've met before. Looks like I was hearing you're going to create something beautiful together. So you will be creating something beautiful together. and it's subjective what beautiful means for everyone. So yeah, let's see. You've got Temple of the Rose, Ancient Power, Expression, Activation, Scarlet Codes. Yeah, we had this with Lemuria and with Star Ancestors as well. There is ancient power and wisdom within yourself that is coming out into the surface. There is a need for you to express yourself, if this is through a creative project, writing, singing, dancing. Everything can be an expression of who you are. You may be it may be an activation that you are going through. You are going to be activated to because it's reminding me a little bit of, hold on, let me get the water. It's reminding me a little bit of light language. Light language, depending on from which civilization you get, there is codes in the vibration. The words are not the important. If it is something that is said light language, there are also light language that is written or painted. There are codes and frequency in this, in the light language, that by seeing, by hearing the light language, something within yourself is being activated. You as a human doesn't need to understand what this is all about. You may not even understand the words because it is something different from our language here on earth. The important part is the frequency that is behind it, activating something within you, because the energy that needs to recognize the light language is not your human self, but your higher self. Your higher self knows what it means. It understands the frequency and the vibration behind this activation. And so it will activate something within you as a result. It could be different types of things, like activating you to awaken a spiritual awakening. It could be activating yourself to be ready to birth a new creation on earth. If this is a book, a song, a dance, music, whatever, because it is the time for you to do this, because you are ready for it. So that's where I'm feeling like this activation is coming from. It's activating something for you to express. It may be that you are going to get activated by meeting this other person that you will collaborate on something, because sometimes it activates something in us because there is this deep soul remembering of having met this person somewhere, sometime before. Then you have the Wastelands, Sustainability, Slow Down, Tend to Your Garden. This card talks about that currently what you are doing for your body is not sustaining you correctly. This cannot sustain you. If you have been working constantly without pausing, without taking a break, without playing, without giving yourself the permission to play, to have fun, to slow down, to rest, your body is going to crumble down if this keeps up. So this card is all about slowing down, tending to yourself, to your body, to your emotional needs, to your mental needs. Whatever it is that you need to do to rest, to regain your energy. Do some self-care for yourself. It doesn't have to be what others call or skincare routine and so on if you don't feel like it helps you. Self-care could be giving yourself the time to play a game, to not feel guilty that you are playing a game because you have to work on something. It's okay to take a pause to play that game, to watch one episode of your favorite TV series, to just let yourself rest and laugh again. Then we also have here the Thorn, protection, boundaries, clear communication. We have again boundaries. So this card I'm going to read out because this is one of the cards that I haven't seen before in any of my readings. The Thorn. The rose is the queen of all flowers. Her soft and oft fragrant bloom takes our breath away from near and far, a bridge between heaven and earth. She has the capacity to act as a portal to our true selves and call our soul more fully into our body. She leaves us in awe, allowing us to experience heaven on earth for a very precious moment. But the rose is not all gentle and soft. In fact, most roses are armored with spiky thorns and prickles of various shapes and sizes. These sharp protectors act like knights, defending their queen, clearly setting the necessary boundary and conditions for her to do what she was born to do. We too are like the rose. So often we don't get taught how important clear communication and loving boundaries are to our relationships. When we are not clear on our needs, when we don't communicate them, we don't take responsibility. When we don't take responsibility for them, it's impossible for others to give us what we need. This often results in a breakdown in the relationship. Communicating our needs and establishing our boundaries allows not just us to feel safe, but those we're in a relationship with to feel safe too. This card delivers the message of the importance of clear communication, boundaries, and taking responsibility for our needs. To be clear with others, we must first be clear with ourselves, and then communicate this to our loved ones and the world. Something to meditate upon, make a journal entry, or reflect. Other questions: what loving boundaries are you being called to establish? How are you being called to communicate clearly to those you're in a relationship with? For example, a boundary that I did not have was back when I had a part-time job in a supermarket. The organization was not all the things. We were understaffed. It was summer vacation. 3 people were on vacation. 1 person was on medical leave, so we were only 4 people there. And one of the person there was leaving us, and someone new would start in their place. So we had to work more than was allowed by law, and I had to work my asses off for weeks because there were only us that could work. So there were times where I had to wake up early in the morning because I had early shifts from 6 a.m. working from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. And sometimes because we were understaffed, there were times that I had to work from 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. And I had only like 1 day or 2 days of rest, and it was like you could not really rest because you already had to be there. And working on a supermarket, it's not just physical, not only your physical body is being needed, because I needed to unpack stuff, to make the shelves beautiful and so on, to clean, so that everything was clean because of the food. We don't want there to be any cockroaches or rats right where there are foods. So this was physically draining, and as well mentally, because I had to be on the cashier, so I had to be mentally there too, focusing on if this person is not trying to steal something, if they are giving me enough money, how much money do I have to give back. Or maybe sometimes people give me a note of 100, but then they see, oh no, I had a note that was smaller, like a 50 note or a 20 note bill, paper, whatever it is called. So I had to then, because I've already put it in the system what they've given me, I would have to then in my head count, okay, they given me that much of money, yet I need to now see how much I have to give back, because it was not in alignment anymore with the system, what the system was telling me, how much I had to give them back. So I had to work as well with my brain. So it was physical draining and mentally draining. When I had to do work for a lot of weeks, and after I thought, oh, finally I will get some rest because someone from vacation would come back. This person got corona and couldn't go to work, so I had to work even more. And I was on the brink of a burnout. I couldn't, my energy levels were down. I couldn't do anything that I loved to do that brought me energy, because I was just so drained. And as an empath myself, working with a lot of people around me with different energies, I was also drained because of the energies around me. So what I did not is, when my boss would ask me if I could not stay longer, instead of putting a clear boundary, hey, look, I know we are understaffed, but I currently too exhausted to work harder. I could not say clearly that I wanted to go off early to rest, because I felt like I couldn't do that because I was the youngest there, and there are people that may think, well, you're so young, you have enough energy to do that. That's bullshit. If you're young or old, we all need to rest and we all have a battery. It doesn't mean that if you are young that you can keep on going for I don't know how many hours. No, we also need rest. And I was not able to communicate clearly my boundary that I needed rest. And I said, okay, I stay. So I shut myself on the knee as well, and made myself more drained than I needed to be. Of course, I finally got out of this as when everyone came back and I was going on vacation, because I had a date where I would go to Greece to vacation, and I also told them that I wanted to work less so that I could study for the college entrance. Well, after coming back from my vacation, I never worked there anymore. more than a half year is when I was not called anymore to work there. So because they were not getting the financial necessity to be able to pay all of the people that they were employed. So then we have long story short for boundaries. Be clear, communicate clearly, set boundaries. Don't do it like I did and to lose your energy too much. Then we have the breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. So this is one of the cards as well that I don't have an idea of what this is. The breathing rose. Often healing is a slow, steady process. It's complex, not linear. It takes as long as it takes, and most of the time that's much longer than we'd wish. But like all things in nature, there's a mysterious intelligence to it. And if we trust it and let the vibrant petals fall to the earth, cut back what's no longer and protect the new shoots and buds from being pried open, we may find ourselves in a second bloom, and fruit will follow. You can't manufacture that. We must trust the great mystery in the process. The bud somehow manages to burst through the constraints by opening to life. All of nature has this intelligence within it. The challenge when we are going through a time of healing, which is another word for growth, transformation, change, is not to close ourselves off from the world when we most want to separate and shut down. To somehow find the courage to open through the agony, the difficulty, and the hurt. And when we feel safe enough to let life soften us, not harden us, to deepen and cradle us. This is a card of deep heart healing. It will often come to us as a symbol of emotional healing that's in the process of happening. The mending's underway. Treat yourself and your healing with compassion, understanding, and gentleness. This is a card of deep encouragement that you're doing it. Time will ease everything soon. Something to reflect upon, meditate is, are there questions? How can you treat yourself with gentle compassion and softness? And how can you trust the timing of your healing? So now to the last oracle deck, the Healing Waters, the newest one in the collection of Rebecca Campbell. This I got recently as well, so I don't know the meanings of all the cards yet. I'm still learning. I've used it before, but just because I've used it before, it doesn't mean that I have the meanings ingrained in me. So here you will see me read all cards from the guidebook. So please read, guys. What inside this pile number 2? Need to hear right now? Are these the cards? Okay, yeah, well, that was fast. So I'm going to show the cards already. We have stagnant waters, feeling stuck, a call for shifts, flow and change. Then we have deep sea diving, way of the mystic, learn through experiencing depths. And let me see, how does it look like? Can you see the cards? Yeah, I have to put this card on top of the others. The waterfall, inner power, unbridled confidence, claiming your place. I'm going to put it here in the middle of leap and mirror. And the back of the deck we have birth mysteries. What are you being called to create? So I'm going to put this one here because I'm going to read this card as well. Birth mysteries. Water is intelligent And where there's water, there is life. We are water beings. We travel from the watery world of the Great Mother to be born in this world. Our first breath marking the transition from water to air. We all grew from a single cell into a form in the waters of the amniotic sac of the Great Mother. And from there, the same intelligence has been guiding us every step of the way. It's the same force that tells flowers when to bloom and the planet to spin. You're a creative being living in a creative world. This is a planet of creativity and manifestation. Creativity is your natural state. What are you being called to create? Creativity isn't only for certain people, it's within us all. What would you like to create? Don't squeeze the who's. Loosen your grip and call the intelligent waters to flow through you every step of the way. Then follow it up with consistent action. Embodied creativity happens when we have a vision and act on that vision. Every idea in the world is pointless without this constant action. Stay true to what you're being called to create and show up to it, day after day after day. To reflect, meditate upon, make journal entry is the questions: what would you like to create, and how can you show up to that creation with consistency? And some water for me. Stagnant waters. Perhaps it's the movement of water that contains the intelligent flow of energy that makes life possible. The life force that animates all living things. When water stops flowing, it can become stagnant. This lack of flow can cause a build-up and lead to pollution. Perhaps we're like that too. Perhaps we need flow just as much as the waters of the world. This card brings with it a colorful flow, movement, and change. How can you begin to flow a little more with life's changes? Where in your life do you feel stuck? What has become stagnant or lacking of vitality, ease, and flow? How are you being called to re-inject more movement into your life? Sometimes when we go through life, our energy can become stuck, physically, emotionally, spiritually, romantically, and yet life is always there to support our return to flow, to movement. There is a wonderful card to receive, as it comes with a magnificent opportunity for shifting energy and embracing change and new possibilities. Perhaps you've become complacent or just feel stuck. Maybe you've been avoiding something deep down and this is causing the waters within you to stagnate. Perhaps the intelligence of the water is inviting you to call upon the intelligence within you to find the courage to embrace a new way of flowing with life. Something to meditate, journal entry, and reflect are the questions: what feels stuck or stagnant in your life? What shifts are you being called to make? Then we have deep sea diving. The mystic wants to have a direct experience with the sacred. The sacred is everywhere and within everything, so every moment is an invitation to deepen the connection within. The mystic learns through merging with life, through experiencing things firsthand, through learning about what's known and then diving deep into what's unknown for the chance of a direct, intimate experience. Mystics are the sacred explorers of the world, both inner and outer. Open-hearted and minded, they're willing to journey into the uncharted waters in order to truly live. If you receive this card, it's likely that you're being called to learn through direct experience, to dive in and explore things for yourself. Like the Sumerian goddess Inanna, journeying to the underworld to return completely transformed. The way of the mystic is not for the faint-hearted, but it's a way to truly live. Most learn through reading books and following processes. The way of the mystics is much deeper, more experiential and feminine. It requires faith and courage. It demands that you disregard external maps and be led from within. And while every step of the journey may not be clearly marked, the way ahead always emerges and the transformation cannot be replicated. Perhaps you're in an uncharted place in your life, or being called to embrace uncertainty. You're being called to the depths, and you'll return transformed. Then we have Healing Waters affirmation is, if you want to use it, I trust my path and choose to see the sacred everywhere and within all things. I follow the intelligence that's within me. Then the waterfall. The waterfall is a place of power, incredible force and activation. They previously calm, embracing waters of the running river gather momentum and then hurl themselves wholeheartedly toward their destiny. With wild abandon and great confidence, they leap into the unknown. Perhaps this explains why being near a waterfall is such an empowering experience. We feel the pounding energy of the waters deep within us. This card is all about embracing the power within, stepping forth and claiming your place. You've been working for this for a very long time. You've done the time. Okay. You've done the time. How can you embrace this moment and take your position as a leader in your life? The waterfall beacons you forth toward your empowerment, to consider what you'd do if you truly felt empowered. It encourages you to step more fully into your confidence, to receive the pounding thunder of the falling water as your encouragement and your applause. To meditate, to reflect, or to make a journal entry is the question, what would you do if you felt empowered and confident? So now to end your reading, we are going to get a message from the book Light is the New Black. So please read, guides. The book Light is the New Black. What insight does pie number 2 need to hear right now? What would be the most helpful for pie number 2 in this current moment? Something small. Devote your life. What on earth would you devote your life to if you had the chance? You do. A thing, a cause, lots of things, someone, something you believe in passionately, something that bugs you. Waking up every day, long hours, pushing through the hard, flowing through the good. What do you do tirelessly, even when you are depleted, especially when you are depleted? What brings you back to life? What do you do when no one's looking? What do you want to be known for? What one thing do you want to change? What would you still do if you were the only person left on the planet? Work your light. If you had to devote your life to one thing, what would it be? So pile number 2, this is everything that I have for you. Thank you for thank you for sticking with me till the end. I hope that this helped you. I wish you all the best, and I will be seeing you at my next video. Bye!